Hello everyone and welcome to Leadership Georgia and Troup County. I'm Renee Willis and I'm here with Ben Tarbutton, who is president of the Leadership Georgia Board of Trustees. And the Leadership Georgia class of 2011 is spending this weekend in LaGrange. And this is the first full day that you've been here, but tell us about some of the things that you've got going on in LaGrange this weekend, Ben.
Well, thank you for having us here today and this weekend. We are very excited to have a class of 60 participants plus spouses and guests here in LaGrange, and we are exploring the new world. Horsepower is our theme for the weekend, and we started off last night downtown at the downtown square, and we were welcomed by 3 of the local high school bands, and that was a lot of fun. And then we spent the evening at Delavant, which is a new restoration building that's been done, I think sponsored by the Callaway Foundation, and we had dinner there and learned a lot about the Callaway Foundation and also about the local water issues here in Troup County. So we've had a great visit so far, and we spent the morning learning all about Kia. We've had a great visit down at the Kia plant and saw the production lines going. It was very, very interesting. As well, we had Governor Deal was our first speaker. He came in, and so we were very pleased to have him a part of the program. As well, we had just an outstanding panelist, eight panelists on the panel, just telling the story of how Kia was recruited and located here in the LaGrange, West Point area here in Troup County. So we've had a great trip so far, and we've got, as I said, 60 participants with spouse and guests from locations all over the state. We've descended here for a 2-day period, and we've had a lot of fun.
Well, we're thrilled to have you all here. Now, this is the first time Leadership Georgia has been to LaGrange and Troup County in about 10 years. So how was this area chosen this particular year for a program?
Well, that's as a vice president, which I was vice president of Leadership Georgia last year, that's really one of the main responsibilities is to develop a list of communities to visit for the next year. And I'll have to admit, one of your local alumni that I served with on the Leadership Georgia board, Trip Penn, did a very nice soft sell job on everything that's going on here, and he convinced me to come visit. And we did that about 1 year ago, and I just fell in love with everything that's going on here. From Kia to the downtown revitalization to the lake to LaGrange College. It's just so much to offer in LaGrange, and I was kind of taken aback that it had been 10 years. I think the last was in 2001. So we're excited to be back, and certainly don't think it'll be another 10 years before Leadership Georgia comes back.
Tell us a little bit about the Leadership Georgia program, what it is, its purpose. It's, I guess, now 40 years old.
That's right. This is the 40th year. We're going to be celebrating that. We have 5 programs each year. This year we started off the year in Brasstown Valley in January. Of course, we're in LaGrange here in March. We're going to St. Simon's Island in May, and then Camilla in September. They're going to round out the year in Augusta, the last program, and we are going to celebrate the 40th year of Leadership Georgia at that last program in Augusta. We're going to have a special tribute on November the 4th, that Friday night. Just really looking back at the past 40 years. The organization was started in 1972 with the first class, and so we've got over 2,400 graduates that have gone through the program, that have been a part of very successful businesses, former state senators, current U.S. senators. The impact of Leadership Georgia on the state has been strong, and I think it was really created by Pat Patillo and others in the early 70s to really look at the gap between rural Georgia and the Atlanta area, to bring together leaders from across the state to really share in that common vision that is the great state of Georgia, and to talk about the issues of the day and try to develop a better plan for the future.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know there have been some notable alumni over the years. So can you tell us who some of those are?
Well, Renee Willis is one of them.
Not counting her.
But certainly, one of the greatest stories is Senator Sam Nunn. He was in the first class in 1972, and I think drew inspiration from being a part of the Leadership Georgia class in 1972. And I think he used that as a springboard for his campaign. And of course, he served with distinction for many years. But been so many, leaders, especially in politics. Johnny Isaacson, Saxby Chandler come to mind, but also many business leaders. Jimmy Blanchard, I know, has been a very past participant. Philip Wilhite from the Gainesville area. So there's been a lot of past alumni that have really gone on to improve the quality of life in the state of Georgia.
And of course, our own Paige Estes, who's president of our LaGrange County Chamber of Commerce, is a member of this class. So I'm interested to talk to her after this weekend and see if she's been able to see Troup County through a different set of eyes this weekend.
Poor Paige has not had a chance to rest. We've been working her hard, but she's been just so wonderful, as well as the LaGrange area alumni in supporting this program. Joy Lampley Fortune and Reggie Fortune are the program chairs. They're from Fairburn, class of 2009, and they have just done an outstanding job with the development of this program. I think they've been down here 12 times to visit and to, go over the details and get things lined up for us. So had a great visit.
We've adopted them, and we're recruiting them to live here in the future, as any of the other members. And actually, we do have a class full of folks in the studio today watching this, so we want to make sure that they all know how much we appreciate them coming here, and they're welcome back anytime. But let's talk a little bit about how many people are chosen every year, how that selection process, in case there's anyone out there watching who wants to know how they can possibly be involved in Leadership Georgia in the future.
We really cast a broad net, and we send out letters to various organizations, Georgia Chamber of Commerce, a lot of local chambers of commerce, and any Leadership Georgia alumni has the opportunity to nominate someone. And we roughly get around, I'd say, 400 to 450 nominations each year. And that's really the beginning of the process. And we normally take that number, and the number of people who actually apply is around 250, and that's what we've been averaging for the past several years. And so, there are different trigger marks on the calendar by the time you have to have a nomination in. I think this year's May 15th, and then have the application in by June the 15th. And the board, it consists of 18 members, and we spend a large part of our summer going through the applicants, the application pool, and developing the criteria that we need to move forward to build each class. It's a very competitive process. We weigh factors like diversity is measured by geographic, business, racial. So, we really try to ensure that each class reflects the state of Georgia. So we spend a lot of time on that. And sometimes we have Leadership Georgia alumni. They're like, well, I didn't get my person in. So it is a process. So you're talking to somebody that applied multiple times to get in the class. So it's tough, but we encourage people to stay with the process, and it's really worth the experience, because you make so many good lifelong friends and get to talk to people that you would never have an interaction with before, and that's really what Leadership Georgia is all about.
For someone who's not originally from Georgia, it was very enlightening to me to see parts of the state I probably would not have seen and learned about otherwise. So that's what I took away from the program. Now, you were in the class of 2004.
2004, that's correct.
So obviously this is an organization you believe very strongly in if you're still involved in 2011.
Yes. We're very fortunate. Betsy and I went through in 2004. We were asked to serve as program chairs for the Brasstown program in 2006, and then served on the board 2007 through 9, and asked to serve as vice president last year and president this year, and I'll be chairman in 2012. So when you look at it like that, it is a long time. But I've just had so many great opportunities to go to roughly 40 different programs and visit communities across the state, have access like we had this morning to Kia. Not everybody gets that kind of access, and so we've gone to places like Kings Bay, the submarine base, and just I've been part of the class and went to Washington, D.C. So we have learned a lot about the state of Georgia. And the state of Georgia, we're all very proud of our state, and we of course have our issues, but certainly we have a lot of positive traction, and know a very progressive state and ready to move the state forward.
Are there similar programs like this in other states, or is this a unique program?
Well, Leadership Georgia is truly unique. It is the oldest young leaders program in the country, and is unique from any other program that we have done research on in the aspect that we encourage spouses and guests to come with the participant. And everyone is, enjoys the same privileges and gets to come forward and be a part of the class. And we've done some pretty extensive research on Leadership Oklahoma, Leadership Kansas, Leadership Florida. Most states have a leadership program, but they're all very different. Most of them are a little bit smaller, and none of them include spouses or guests. And we think that that's the real crown in our or jewel in our crown, so to speak, because you're getting 2 for 1. You're getting not just 6, you're getting 120. So that sends more people out into their community, into their sphere of influence to push the state of Georgia forward.
Well, I know that the competition is tough to recruit the entire class to come to your area, so we're very honored here in LaGrange and Troup County that you did choose us this year, and you're certainly invited back anytime.
Thank you so much.
But thank you so much for being here this weekend, and we brought you beautiful weather thus far.
Absolutely.
We hope that it stays with you, and we will hope to see you again very soon.
Great. Thank you for having us.
All right, thank you. And thank you for tuning in to this very special edition of Leadership Georgia in Troup County. Thanks for watching.